welcome back to another episode. Today's recipe, we are going to be making chicken pot pie. I'm using leftover chicken that I made earlier in the week. I just needed something to do with it, so let's make some pot pie to enjoy on a rainy day. We are going to start with making the pie crust. Okay, so in here I have 4 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and a teaspoon of salt. And I am using cold lard. I just pulled it out of the fridge, I chopped it all up, and I am using 1.5 cups. And I'm gonna mix that in, and then I'm gonna add probably about a half a cup of ice cold water and mix it until it forms a dough. Okay, so now I'm gonna start adding a little bit of water at a time. Lightly sprinkle your countertop with some flour so it doesn't stick. Just kind of squish it, knead it all together. All right, now we're gonna divide it into 2. Put that one back in my pan, in my bowl. A little more flour and we'll roll it out. I don't want to roll it out too thin because when we scoop out the pie, we don't want the bottom to fall apart. So a little flour, we're going to fold it, a little more flour, fold it again, and into our pie dish. Awesome, okay. Let's put the other one in the pie dish too. And it looks like I'm gonna have to make one more batch of pie dough because this will only be enough to make 1 top. All right, so I already have my oven preheating to 425. We are gonna cook carrots, celery, and peas. We're just going to cook them up a little bit because they'll also cook in the pie when we bake it. And we need some water. We're going to add some salt to it. I like using coarse kosher salt. I also have 1 large potato all cut up and ready to be cooked. So we will let those cook. All right, our potatoes are ready, so I'm gonna drain them. Next, we're gonna make the sauce, gravy. I don't know what you wanna call it. All right, so we're gonna start with a 1/3 cup of butter. I'm gonna melt that down, and we're also gonna add about a 1/3 cup of onions. So we're gonna wait and cook up the onions and melt the butter a little bit, and then we're going to add a 1/3 cup of flour, some seasonings, and then we'll keep going from there. Okay, so let's cook this down first. Our butter and onions are looking pretty good. I'm gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, kind of a rounded 1/4 teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. And you can always add more once you taste it and see if you like it. I'm also going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Sprinkle in some pink Himalayan salt. And we're going to put some black pepper in it. Give it a quick stir. Now we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of flour. So we are making a roux, which is usually what you make in a soup base or gravy. We're kind of making a gravy, it's kind of what we're making. So it thickened up very quickly. We're gonna add about a half a cup of milk. And now I did 3 cups of chicken stock, but that's because sometimes you need a little bit extra. We're gonna start pouring that in. As that's heating up, I'm going to add some browning to it, just to give it more of that chicken pot pie look, that brown gravy look. All right, let's just wait for that to boil a little bit. And then we'll taste it and see if we need more seasoning. All right, our gravy is simmering, turned it down, and now we are going to add all our vegetables and our chicken. So it's about 2.5 cups of chicken. Add our potatoes, vegetables, and I'm just gonna let this sit and cook a little bit. We are going to put it in our pie shells now. Just even it out between your 2 pie shells. Oh, they look and they smell amazing. Okay. So I also have the tops made, and what I did when I folded it, I put my little slits in it so that it has like a vent when this is cooking. Excellent. Okay, so we are going to set those aside for a minute, and I'm going to grab an egg, and we are going to make an egg wash for on it, and so that when they come out of the oven, they'll be a much more golden color. So I'll be right back. Egg wash is 1 egg with just a tiny little bit of water, like a teaspoon of water, and all I'm going to do is brush it over top of each of the pies. There we go, so that one's ready. Before I put our pot pies in the oven, I'm going to show you what you can do with your leftover pie dough. Take your pie dough, you're going to roll it out. I'm going to take 1/2 cup of butter, 1/4 cup, do 1/2 cup. Melt it down. All right, and I'm going to take my rolled out pie crust. As long as it doesn't fall apart on me, sticking to the counter. Just gonna lay it out on my cookie sheet, just like that. So you're gonna take your butter and you're gonna put it on your pie dough. All over it. That's all brushed on. Now you're gonna take some brown sugar. Sprinkle your brown sugar on. And now I'm going to take some cinnamon, and I am going to sprinkle a little cinnamon on it. All right, done. Now we're going to pop this in the oven for about 10 minutes until it's just kind of golden brown and slightly crispy, and then we are going to take it out, and it's kind of like little cinnamon sugar pastry bites. It's ready. Probably left it a little too long, but I think the sugar, it's just the sugar that's caramelizing now. So we'll let that cool for a minute, and then we will put our 2 pot pies in. Okay, I set it for about an hour.
These turned out sweet and crunchy, a perfect little snack. And our pot pies cooked for about an hour and 20 minutes, and they look perfect, and I can't wait to eat them.
Well, it has been a very interesting afternoon, late afternoon, evening. Right after I got those pot pies into the oven, we lost power. We are having a wind and rain storm here today, and so it kind of sucks. We lost power, but right before we lost power, I had some friends show up, which they were coming down for supper to eat the pot pie, and I'm so glad they arrived because they helped me hook up the generator and get it started so at least I could cook the pot pies. And they turned out fantastic. Yes, oh my god, they turned out so good. We loved it, they loved it, it was so good. It's gone. I'm sorry, I didn't get a video of it to show you cutting it and taking it all out. It was just that good, we ate it all. It turned out really well. I did slightly overcook it because we had to run out and check some trees that had fallen down and check the generator, make sure it had enough gas and stuff in it. But anyway, our little snack turned out really well, which I am still snacking on. I think it's one of my favorite things to eat that's just plain pie crust. Our other pie turned out amazing. So This recipe's awesome. I can't wait to post it for you guys, and I hope you'll try it. So yes, that's the end of this recipe. Please remember to like it, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell. And can't wait to share another recipe with you guys on our next video.